Okay, so now I'm gonna be conducting the interview myself with my friend virtually. Say hi.
Hi,
Okay, so we're just gonna begin now. Okay, so how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, why don't you tell me something about yourself?
Well, I'm 19. My name's Alejandra, by the way, and I work a full-time job, and I also do school part-time, and I usually just hang around anywhere. I do anything for my free time, pretty much.
Okay, so what makes you think you're qualified to work for this company?
I'm a really hard worker, and I'm usually available anytime, and I'll make time for work.
Okay, and why do you want to work for us?
Well, I heard so many good things about working here, and I just think that I am qualified to work for y'all.
Okay, and where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Um, in 5 years, I'd hope that I moved out of my parents' house and just being more independent. Um, and I also hope that I've at least got my associate's degrees.
Okay, and what major challenges have you faced and how have you dealt with them?
Um, a major challenge I faced was my first car accident. I remember that was a really hard time for me. I couldn't really go out and do much, but I just gave myself some time to get another car, and it wasn't that hard for me. I just kind of dealt with it and let it go with the flow.
Okay, so what do you think your greatest strengths are?
Well, like I said, I'm a hard worker. I will go out of my way to work anytime someone needs me. And yeah.
Okay, and what are your salary requirements?
Um, I think that's something that should be discussed after, just because I'm not really sure what to expect.
Okay, that's fair. Why did you leave your last job?
I left my last job because I feel like I had to do something else with my life and just try to do something better for myself. But I really did. I did like where I was working at. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just something I needed to do.
Okay, and what are your greatest weaknesses?
My greatest weakness is I can be stubborn sometimes. I also like I don't really I like to figure things out on my own, which can be a problem sometimes, but if I really need help, I will ask.
Okay. Um, do you work better with others or alone?
I'm very used to working alone, but in my opinion, I think both ways, it doesn't really make a difference for me. I think I work great both ways.
Okay, and how has your personal background influenced what you are today?
Well, um, both of my parents are really hard workers, and I've always seen them as like, just people that love to work. Yeah, I saw them work over all the time, so I tend to do the same thing, just follow into their footsteps.
Okay. Given that we have other qualified candidates, why should we hire you?
I think you should hire me because I will make time to work for y'all anytime y'all need me to, and I'll get the job done.
Okay. And how did you hear about this position?
I heard from a friend.
Okay. And how do you think others would describe you?
I think others would describe me as fun. I don't get distracted easily. Whenever I really need to pay attention, I will. But I really do think people describe me as fun.
Okay. So tell me about a time you failed and how you handled it.
So I work at Shaw, and there's this one time I accidentally messed with the machine, and I caught my mistake before anything else happened, before the other step. So I'm pretty good at like keeping an eye out on things.
Okay. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a virtual interview with my friend.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm 19, and I go to school part-time, and I work full-time, and I'm pretty motivated and mature for my age, I would like to say. So,
What makes you think you're qualified to work for this job or the company?
well, I've been in the workforce since I was 16, and I'm pretty educated, and I know what it's like to work for a company that expects your best every single day, so I think I can provide that.
And why do you want to work with us?
Well, I have a lot of respect for the company, and I think that I can offer y'all just as much as you can offer me. So,
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
well, I don't know what's gonna happen, but right now I'm working towards having my bachelor's degree, and hopefully I'll be in a full-time job, just stable. So.
What major challenges have you faced and how have you dealt with them?
Well, one of my major challenges was supporting myself at a really young age, and I think that I just really sat down and learned how to deal with my responsibilities. So I think that kind of flows into other aspects of my life too. So,
What are your greatest strengths?
well, one of my greatest strengths, I would say, is resilience. I think that I know how to look at a situation that offers a lot of challenges, and I'm able to put aside any emotions and deal with a situation rationally.
What are your salary requirements?
Well, right now I don't really want to focus on that. I'd like to talk more about what I have to offer, and that can always be discussed later. So.
Why did you leave your last job?
I just felt like there were better opportunities elsewhere. I liked my last job. It just wasn't what was best for me at the time.
What are your greatest weaknesses?
Well, I know how important it is to speak more than one language right now, and so I'd like to say that's my biggest weakness, but one day I do hope to work on that.
Do you work better with others or alone?
Um, I think that I don't work better in either one, honestly. Like I can work with both equally just as well. So it's whatever is required at the time.
How has your personal background influenced what you are today?
Well, I was raised by a single mother, so I learned independence at a really young age. I learned that you have to work for whatever you get in life because I watched my mom do it for so many years.
Given that we have other qualified candidates, why should we hire you?
Well, I think that I meet the requirements and I also stick out in a way. I think that when you hire me, you get the ideals of a hard worker, and I just know that I can provide something that others can't.
How did you hear about this position?
I actually heard about it from a friend, so I was really intrigued, so here I am.
How do you think others would describe you?
Um, I think others would describe me as really goal orientated, but I'm not too serious, so I'm still someone that you'd want to work with.
Tell me about a time you failed and how you handled it.
One time I failed. Um, I remember my first job when I was 16. I worked retail and I had a complaint from one of my customers, and even though technically it wasn't a failure, it felt like one to me at a time. So I think that I handled it really well, especially considering it was my first job, because instead of like letting it get to me like I saw other coworkers do, I really just tried to make sure that my customer service was on point from then on.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for your time today.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Have a good day.